We are live from Montgomery, Alabama. How's everyone doing tonight on this live stream? Looks like we already have at least one person in here. Marty Baker, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you on here tonight. Y'all hear my kitty cat? That's my little Tigger. His name is Tigger. And he is hanging out with me tonight. I hope you guys had a terrific Sunday. I did. I had a pretty good Sunday. Carol has been away at Black Belt Camp for the last 3 days, and she has been up in, can't remember the name of the town, but it's some kind of camp where they have summer camp there, and she just got back into town this afternoon, so I haven't even seen her yet. I'm just here hanging out at my eBay shop. What's up, Brent Mania? Good to see you on here. How are you doing tonight? Good to see you. Well, what am I doing tonight? You ask. Well, there's CG Anime Fan. Welcome, CG Anime Fan. Good to see you on here. Hadn't seen you in a little while. Good to see you. Hope everything is going well with you. Well, I've been busy, just listening and taking care of stuff this last week. So I'm going to share some of that stuff with you. I don't know if you'll find it interesting or not, but I figured I would share it with you. Brent says he's doing good, and Marty is doing good. So, what have you guys been up to? CG says he's had a few ups and downs, had some ups and downs. Well, I'm sorry that you've had the downs, but I'm glad that you had the ups. Always good to have those ups. Marty says she's not doing nothing much. And Brent Mania says, hello, all you legendary guys and gals. Welcome, Invisible River Ranch. Welcome. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're having a good Sunday. How's the weather there in Arizona right now? Is it getting better? Oh, looks like I just sold something. Let's see if I can show you. It's been a pretty busy couple of days on eBay, and I've been selling stuff that has kind of been sitting around. So it's been a pretty good couple of days. Let's see. I'm gonna probably have to turn down my let's see. Sometimes I have to turn down the brightness display on my camera in order to show you guys stuff. So I'm gonna see if I can turn down my brightness here. Never can find stuff when you're looking for it, can you? Okay, so this is what just sold. Let's see if it'll show up on the camera. Whoop. This is little birdies. I made a video on that, and they sold for $44, and I picked those up at a thrift store for. They all came in a bag together. That just sold while I was sitting here talking to you guys. So unfortunately, I didn't have my ringer turned on, or y'all would have got to hear the cha-ching. And so it's been a pretty busy weekend. I've sold some things that have been, like I said, sitting around in my inventory for a little while. This is something that I've had for a while, and this is like a vintage Vietnam War era steel pot, and it sold for $143.10. So it's been a good weekend. I've had over $600 in sales just in the weekend, and it seems to be continuing. I picked this camera here up recently at a yard sale, and you will not believe what I paid for this camera. But this is a Pentax camera, and I actually got two camera bodies. Only one of them had the lens with it. The other one was just a camera body. That one sold for $157, and I paid $2 for it at a yard sale a couple weekends ago. So there's money to be made in, reselling stuff, and it's a lot of fun. Now, I did sell one of the oldest items that I've had in my inventory. This item is so old that the picture that is on the listing is from before I even had a listing station. I took that on my desk, and it sold for $34.65. These are three. Let's see if you can get a close up on that. Three decanters, and they're like Jim Beam decanters. They've been in my store forever. So it's been, like I said, it's been a really good sales weekend. I've been really pleased with how it's going. But what else have I been doing? Friday, I'm going to share some pictures with you. Friday, I had to fix something. I've been trying to get my repairman to come for a week to fix this. And I don't know if you can tell. Let me see if I can enlarge it a little bit. But this is underneath the sink in my kitchen here at my eBay office. So underneath the sink, I discovered not like 3 weeks ago. It's been 2 weeks ago because I've been trying to get my repairman to come, that this valve right here must have busted when we had the freeze in January, and I just did not notice it. So I've been trying to get my repair guy to come out and fix it, and he has just told me he would come, and then he told me he I don't know if you can tell too much about this picture. See if I got a better picture. Okay, here's a little bit better picture. He's told me he would come, and he never did show up. And you can see right here where my pointer is that I have a hairline crack right there on that turnoff, that shutoff valve. And so it was just a little stream of water was coming out through there. And I've been, waiting on my guy to come fix it, waiting on him to come fix it. He just never did come. So I had enough of it. That's what it looks like. See how bad it got? You can see the mold. Looks like black mold in the wall from where the water had been spraying. But that's what the pipe looked like coming out of the wall. So I kept waiting on him, and I've never repaired a pipe like this before. So it's all kind of new to me. But I said, well, you know, I'm going to just go to Home Depot and see if I can find, or actually, I'm going to look on YouTube, YouTube University, always the best place to find information. And I said, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to fix this pipe. So I went to Home Depot. I was hoping my pictures would populate so I could show you. Went to Home Depot, and first I watched a couple of videos, and I learned about something called shark bite. I don't know if any of you know anything about shark bite, but it is a system that you can use where you can connect pipes so that you can, you can actually connect it to copper, and then you can also connect it to PEX, and it's called shark bite, and you just put two pieces together. It is really easy. Marty says that her mom's having a test tomorrow. Invisible River Ranch, I love them discoveries, and you do plumbing. Okay. Well, I can do minor plumbing stuff like, changing a toilet, replacing the drain underneath the kitchen sink or something like that. I can do minor stuff, and I have done that kind of stuff before in the past, but I've never really done anything extremely complicated until now. And this was just out of necessity. I was having to fill up water jugs to be able to flush the toilet because I had no water. I had had to turn my water completely off just to be able to flush my toilet. So I'll show you a close-up picture of the pipe. This is what the hairline fracture looked like in the pipe, and you really couldn't see it too well when it was still in the wall. But I took a pipe cutter, a round pipe cutter that I bought at Home Depot, and I just cut it off there at the base and just pulled the whole piece out. So I wasn't sure what size the pipe was. I wasn't sure if it was a 1/2 inch or a 3/4 inch or what. So I just took the whole piece, this whole piece that I'm showing you, to the Home Depot, and in order to make sure I had the right size pipe. So I got the PEX, and with PEX, it's like a plastic kind of pipe. It replaces copper in a lot of respects. And this is what it looks like now. I was able to get this. You can't really see it too well. I was hoping to be able to show it to you on my other pictures, but this is what it looks like. I was able to get the PEX and using the shark bite and connect it to the copper, and now it is fixed. So I'm really pleased with myself because I was able to get something that I felt was pretty complicated for me anyway. Maybe not for some people, but for me it was pretty complicated to do that. So I was real proud of that I was able to get that done, and it was a lot easier than I thought it would be. But 57 years old, climbing up underneath a sink, it does wreaks havoc on your neck and on your back, and it's just not as easy as it used to be for me to get up under cabinets and do things like that. I guess my age is telling on me. Hopefully you don't have plumber's crack. Well, I'm sure that I did. So Invisible River Ranch, I guess you used to be a plumber. Is that what you're saying? Or you used to do it professionally? And the lawn mowing thing. Okay. Old style before shark bite stuff. I don't know that. Okay. Well, once you learn about shark bite, I think you'll never go back because it is an incredible invention. Yeah, I may have saved more than $300. I don't know. I don't know how much I saved, but I feel like I probably saved more than $300. It was good. I actually spent at $100 on just materials. Buying the PEX, buying the tools that I needed. I had to buy the cutting tool for the pipe, and then I had to buy uh, uh, another cutting tool to cut the PEX with. I needed one to cut the copper pipe that was a round one, and then I had to have another one to cut the PEX with. So I only had to buy 2 tools, which wasn't bad. I just do it not happy about it. Okay. Plumbing and lawn mowing at the same time. And what a guy. And you had fun doing it is always good. Well, I don't know if I could say I had fun. But I will tell you that there is a sense of satisfaction in doing things yourself and being able to do things yourself. I kind of felt that was beyond my abilities when I first took on that project, but I knew it had to get done. And my repair guy just wasn't reliable and wasn't coming out to save me. So I pretty much, they say necessity is the mother of invention. Well, in my case, necessity was the kick in the pants that I needed to get it done. Good evening, Badlands Bandit. Good to see you on here tonight. Hope you're doing well. What's new with you, Badlands Bandit? We all have just been talking about what we've been doing, and I was just sharing my plumbing project that I just recently completed. Brent Mania, he had so much fun, he's going to need plastic surgery to remove the smile off his face. Yes. I'm probably going to need to have some kind of surgery for my back. That's for sure. And you're happy about now is good. Hey, what happened to Rat Stash? Have not seen them in a while. That's a good question. I know that Renee went to Florida for her 50th birthday. She went down there for a vacation. And so if you're listening, Rat Stash, or if you are joining this after the live stream is over, we're missing you on the live stream. So come back and see us. One of those things. Not much, just listening to you and your plumbing adventures. Hopefully your back is going to be okay. Yeah, I hope my back is going to be okay. It seems to be a little bit better. Today is day 2 since I've done that work. The first day was pretty rough, but today's a little bit better. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you guys that I picked up recently that sell pretty well. One is this Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible, and it is a heavy book. This is a real heavy book. It is a pretty decent sized book as well. These books, believe it or not, I got this at an estate sale for $4, but these books will sell for anywhere between $50 and $70 if they're in good condition. And this one appears to be in pretty good condition. It's not written over or anything like that. So that's one of the things I wanted to show you that is a good pickup if you're into reselling, or you're getting into reselling and you want to know what's good to pick up. Also, along with the concordances, Bibles also do really well, especially the leather bound Bibles. And even in used condition, like this one is. This one will sell for $30 easy. I'll probably get a little bit more than that because it has the tabs in the pages, and you can go straight to where you need to go to look things up. This one, let me see. I think it does have some writing in it. It's got the name of the person who used to own it. Got this at that same estate sale. I think I'll get about $30 for it. I paid $2 for that Bible. Welcome, Chuck. Good to see you on here. Hope you're doing well. How's everything out there where you live in? What is the name of the place you live? Nagana, or I can't remember the name of the place where you live. But I hope you're doing well. Good to see you on here tonight. So that was one Bible I picked up at that estate sale. And this is another Bible I picked up at a different estate sale. And this one is the new NIV or King James Version parallel Bible. Do y'all know what a parallel Bible is? If you do, then share with the group, because I'm not sure myself. But the parallel Bible. And this one is King James Version. Maybe what it's saying is it has everything in King James Version, and it's also in the New International Version so that you can understand it better. I'm thinking that might be what it is. Let me put my glasses on here for just a second. Okay, so that's what it is. It's a parallel Bible. That means that it has the scripture in the King James Version as well as the New International Version. So if you want to read the old King James Version, like here, let's find a familiar verse. Then the king's servant, which were the king's gate, said unto Mordecai, why transgresseth thou the king's commandment? And then here's the New International. Then the royal officials at the king's gate asked Mordecai, why do you disobey the king's command? So it basically puts it in plain English so that you can understand what it's saying from King James to New International. So Brent says he doesn't know what parallel, but now I guess we all know what parallel is, don't we? Side-by-side translation, yep. And Dallas Flippin', welcome, Dallas Flippin'. How are you doing tonight, Dash? Good to see you on here. Bible edition that displays multiple translations of the same passages side by side on the same pages, allowing readers to easily compare and contrast different versions of the scriptures. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Parallel Bible is a Bible edition that displays multiple translations. Okay, same thing. And Badlands Bandit says, yes, Dallas is all over it. Last time I was on here, I told you about a private pick that I got. Or I made, things are just kind of running together nowadays, so I'm not real sure what I said or what I didn't say. But I had a private pick. I don't know if you all remember or not, but I had a friend named George. Last year, he was murdered. He was killed in Montgomery by some people who were robbing a Mexican convenience store. They just drove up on that place, and George just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he was shot and killed along with the owner of the Mexican convenience store and the Mexican convenience store owner's son. So there were 3 people that were shot and killed in one day or one evening at that particular thing. But to tell you who George was and how I met him, George ran a gold and silver shop here down the street from where I live. And he would buy and sell gold and silver. And because he was into buying gold and silver, he was always there and always, taking in new merchandise. But he had a lot of people that came into his shop that just wanted to sell their stuff. They kind of, thought that since he was into gold and silver, maybe he would buy other stuff and keep it in his shop and sell it out of his shop. Well, he wasn't really terribly interested. He did buy some stuff and sold it himself, but he wasn't really interested in selling stuff other than just gold and silver. So when they would come in with interesting things, interesting items, he would contact me and he would say, "Hey, I want you to come up here and check out what I've got here and see if you're interested in buying it." And sometimes I would buy it from him, and sometimes I'd buy it directly from the person who had come in to sell it. So to make a long story short, George's son contacted me because I had been in communication with him before his dad died because he was up there a lot. He's grown. He's an adult. He's like 25 years old. But he called me and he said, my dad's stuff has been in the storage building. We've been paying rent for the storage since my dad died, and we had to put it all in there. And if you want, you can just come out here and go through all the stuff and pick out what you want and maybe make a deal. So I said, that's a great idea. And I told him I'd be glad to do it. So I went straight over to the storage unit. And welcome, William Smith, to the live stream. Good to see you on here tonight. Hope you're doing well. That's my brother for you guys who don't know. Brent says, how far are you from Tuscaloosa, home of the University of Alabama? I am about a 2-hour drive from Tuscaloosa, so I guess about 140 miles, 125, 130, somewhere around there, between 120 and 140 miles from Tuscaloosa. And yes, absolutely, Brent. Good man, gone way too soon. He was a good guy. I really enjoyed knowing him, and he was always upbeat, kind, and really nice. And I made a lot of money off the stuff that I bought out of that store, so it was a good relationship. But anyway, so I went out there and I wanted to show you one of the items that I picked up. I paid $800 for all the stuff that I got, and what I got was there was a lot of die-cast metal NASCAR cars, probably about 200 of them. There was collectibles, vintage stuff. I'll show you a couple of the other items that I got, but I wanted to share this with you. This is a from Acme Drug Company. It is a bond. Let's see. This is a share. I'm sorry, it's $10. It's a share of Acme Drug Company. $10 share of Acme Drug Company. And let me see if there's a date on here. I was wondering if Acme Drug Company has changed names and it's now another company, maybe like Walgreens or CVS or something like that. And this, if that's the case, then this might have some good value. But this certificate is dated 1909, and it's from Raleigh, North Carolina. You can see that seal on there from Acme Drug Company, Incorporated, March 1st, 1909, from Raleigh, North Carolina. And so this is one share that was paid for in 1909. And if this is a share of Walgreens stock or one of those big companies that maybe changed names, then it might have some real value. Here's another handwritten date on the back. Whoops. It says March 4th. Trying to get it to focus. Doesn't want to focus. But it says March 4th, 1909 on there. And this is just a $10 share of stock to the Acme Drug Company. I thought that was pretty neat, so I felt like it was worth sharing with you. Brent says that's a lot of NASCAR. Yeah, it is a lot of NASCAR. It wasn't all just NASCAR, but it was a lot of other stuff too. And I'm gonna show you some of that other stuff tonight. Walgreens in Sterling by a guy named last name Walgreens. The name Walgreens comes from the founder, Charles Randolph Walgreen, opened his first drug store in Chicago in 1901. Yeah, that is an interesting item. So I'm going to show you a couple more. Just give me just a second to grab them. A couple of the other items that I picked up. Okay, there were 2 cases of watches. And I don't know much about these watches, so I'm going to have to research them. But there's some really old ones in here. There's some fossil. And there is Timex, Elgin. Elgin is an old brand. But this is one box of the watches, and they're just inside this case. So I got to go through that, look at these watches, and kind of see what their value is. Now, some of these watches were already marked with price stickers. Here's I'm not familiar with this brand. It's called Hamilton. And Seiko. I think the Seiko watch may have been removed. There's a Gruen, Geneva, another fossil, and some names that I'm not familiar with. But these are in this case. And if you recognize any of them, there's one in this case that I got at a yard sale. I'm going to show it to you. Check this one out. See if it'll focus on there. Do you recognize that brand? I got this at a yard sale, of all places. And it has a tag on it. That tag was on it when I bought it. I only paid $1 for it. So now I can say I own a Rolex. Whoops. Focus, focus, focus. So it's a fake. But anyway, that'll be fun to go through those watches and see what the values of those watches are. There was one other thing I brought over here to show you, but I don't know where I put it. Let me grab it real quick. Pardon me. I'm back. Yep, it was just a Rolex counterfeit. And Dallas Flippin says he could have told you that the dates were 99% fake. The day dates. Are you sure it's counterfeit? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's counterfeit. It doesn't say Rolex on the back of it. It could be a counterfeit for $1, or they don't know what it's the value. Yeah, it's definitely a counterfeit. Anybody in the chat at Pro Wrestling Fan besides me? I'm not a pro wrestling fan, but I do have some pro wrestling video games that I'm selling. So, anybody know what this is? This was in the stuff that I got from George's son. It's a flask. Very old flask. Looks like it was carried around quite a bit. Someone used it. Someone used it pretty regularly. I imagine that they kept some intoxicating liquor in this. What do you think? So, let me put the lid back on this, or I will lose it. So, what's next? April 1st, I will be opening a booth in Wetumpka, Alabama, which is about a 20-minute drive from here, in a flea market. Not a flea market. It's a like a thrift store. Well, I guess you could say it's like a flea market, but there are like several hundred booths in this place, and I decided to go ahead and rent one, and I want to try to sell some stuff out of the booth, stuff that's too big or something that wouldn't sell real well on eBay. So I'm going to start selling stuff in the booth. This came from it's a razor. This came from the stuff that I bought from George's son. It's a razor, brand new in the package, old style, and it's got a tortoise shell. You can't really see it. This one's black, but there's another one that's got kind of like a tortoise shell. For your Kickapoo by Joy Juice. Yeah, that's what that's for. Antique booth? No, mine won't be an antique booth, but I'll probably have some collectibles in there, maybe some antiques, maybe put some antique bottles in there. I definitely am planning on putting some of the. I've got a bunch of china that I've just kind of inherited or collected throughout the years, and I wanted to start selling some of that stuff in there. A lot of it came from. We went yard selling one time. I think I told you about this. This when I got all that furniture that I've got in my Airbnb. I bought all that at the same time, and they threw in all that china with it. There was a lot of really nice china, and I think I can do okay with that if I put it in the booth. It's not something that I want to sell on eBay because I don't like shipping stuff on eBay. Chuck says, like quartzite. Like, I'm not sure what that question. Can you rephrase your question? I'm not sure what you're asking. So, So I'm not sure what you're saying there, Chuck. What are you saying? Dallas Flippin says, I've got a ceramic mouse you can put in that booth. Yeah, I was with you the day you picked up that mouse, so you still haven't sold it. Uh, I think you said you looked that up and it was a pretty valuable piece, so it seems like it would sell, especially because it's a collectible. So Tuesday of this week, I've got to go to Birmingham and I've got to attend a NASW, which stands for National Association of Social Work conference. It's a 2-day conference, and I will be getting some CEUs, or they call it continuing education units. That's something that you have to have in order to maintain your license as a licensed social worker. So I'll be going on Wednesday and Thursday, or maybe it's Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, to Birmingham for that social work conference. So I've got a pretty busy week planned for this week. I also will be going. I got to pull out my mowers. It's starting to get that time of year again. I don't know how it is in your neck of the woods, but here in Montgomery, my grass is starting to grow again with spring coming on. So Chuck says there was all kinds of stuff for sale in Quartzsite. Oh yeah, at the big tent there was a lot of stuff for sale, but I didn't find a whole lot of yard sales. Are there generally a lot of yard sales in Quartzsite in January, or do they usually have them later? So I got to get my grass cut. You know, I've got 10 houses, and so I have tenants, and a couple of them they take care of their own yards. But there's several that I have to take care of. Like here at the eBay office, I have to keep the grass cut here. I also have to keep the grass cut where I live, and I've got a couple houses with Airbnb, so I'm responsible for the grass at the Airbnbs. So I'm thinking about, if not this year, maybe next year, hiring someone to do that, because it's a lot of work and it's hard to keep caught up with it, especially during the summer when the grass is growing so fast. Not time to mow, and yet in Ohio. Okay, so you still got cooler weather, and there's not a whole lot of grass growing. Yeah, get some sheep, and they'll keep your grass down. I heard goats are good for that, but I don't know if I want to deal with the responsibility of taking care of animals. Maybe it's more trouble than it's worth just to get your mower out and put some gas in it. I do have I have 2 zero-turn mowers. Any of y'all got the zero radius turning mowers where you can just get on it and move your hand switches like this, and it'll take you in complete circles if you want to go? So Dash says it's been 80s, in the 80s there in Texas, and everyone is doing outdoor stuff. Well, we've had some pretty warm weather recently, and we've had a lot of rain, so it's definitely causing the grass to come up. But I have got to get the grass cut. And if you saw my last video, I don't know if you saw my last video or not, but I took a trip to the scrap yard and carried a bunch of scrap metal to the scrap yard, and that was the debut of my truck in my videos. I've never had my truck in my videos before, but you saw how dirty my truck is. Well, I have a couple of cars also in addition to my van that you all are familiar with, named Ethel. So all of those vehicles have got to get washed. So my chore list is getting longer and longer. How about your chore list? What do you guys have on your chore lists? Brett says, I know my grandpa, when he had sheep, it was hard to find someone to shear the sheep. My dad's got one of those numbers. Oh, you're talking about the zero turning mowers, not numbers. Was 90 in where Invisible River Ranch is in Arizona, and 55 in Ohio, where Brent is. I think you said you're in Ohio. Is that correct? Yep, Ohio. So it is starting to get cooler, warmer all over the country. And we are starting to have summer chores that are hitting us pretty hard here in Montgomery. And I still haven't got my Airbnbs opened up. I've still got to get those opened up. And I've got a couple things that I need to do that I've just been procrastinating on. Just little odds and ends that I've got to take care of. I've got to get the internet turned on. I've got to clean the fans. I've got to do a little bit of painting and clean underneath the counters where there's some old stuff that was left by the previous tenant. So those are just a couple of the little items that I've got to get knocked out before I can open my Airbnb. My brother William and his wife got to stay in that Airbnb. They were one of the first few guests there, so they got to spend their honeymoon there, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. Just one day. Yes, northwest Ohio area. Trees have grown. Trees have green leaves growing. Are you going to have bad weather tomorrow? I think there is going to be some pretty bad weather here in Montgomery. And Chuck is asking Invisible River Ranch where he is in Arizona. And William said he had a good time. Yeah, he's in Brent's in the Toledo, Ohio area. Holy Toledo. Isn't that where Klinger from MASH was from? Wasn't he from Toledo, Ohio? I hear you guys have some pretty good pizza up there. I know when I went to Chicago to visit my son, I had to go to a couple of pizza places while I was there. And one of the best pizza places I had was not in Chicago. It was in Chicago, but it was like not in the downtown Chicago area. But it was in right next to the town where Northwestern University is. There was a pizza place there. It was probably the best pizza I've ever had in my life. It was really good. And Invisible River Ranch says he is in northeast of Tucson on the other side of the mountain. Jamie Farr. Yeah, Jamie Farr. 60 miles. I'm glad that you know his name, Brent. Most people just know him as Klinger. Near Oracle. San Manuel is up the road 12 miles. I was actually thinking about going by and visiting Invisible River Ranch when I went to Tucson. Went to what is the name of that town I went to? Where they had the OK Corral and the shootout at the OK Corral. But when I went there and made my video there, I was thinking about going and visiting Invisible River Ranch, but I just wasn't able to make it. We do have good pizza. The original Geno's Pizza is one to recommend in Toledo. Got it. Thanks, Payson. Yeah. Delphi. Tombstone. That's right. That's where I was in Tombstone. Sometimes I have mental blocks and I just can't remember exactly what I was trying to say. But yeah, thanks to you guys, you keep me on track. What up, Justinian? Who's Justinian? I think we all get brain farts. Yeah, I just have them more often than I used to. That's what happens when you retire. You don't really have to think too much anymore. Um, Cochise County is where Invisible River is, and Chuck says he's driven the river road clear down to Benson. Okay, and they're talking about stuff in Arizona that I don't really know, but I would like to see a little bit more of Arizona. I really enjoyed my time when I go to Arizona. I will be going to Arizona every year now since I started going to the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous and Quartzsite in January of every year. I plan on making that an annual event where I will be going down there every year. Speaking of travel, I will be making a trip to Tennessee in May 2nd and 3rd. I will be at R.M. Brooks General Store in Tennessee and visiting with some people that I've got to know up there. There's also another YouTube friend of mine who I originally met from those videos. His name is John, and his channel's name is the Appalachian Channel. So if you all want to check it out sometime, it's a pretty good channel. It's called the Appalachian Channel with John Ward, and he's got like I think 175,000 somewhere around there subscribers now. But we'll be seeing each other again. We'll be camping right beside each other in Tennessee at R.M. Brooks General Store in May. So I'm looking forward to that trip. Does anyone here have Jiminy? I don't know what that is. Tucson is the city I drive to for Costco. Over Reddington Pass. Yeah. And Brent says when he goes back to visit, maybe he'll run into Invisible River. Reddington Road. Not a good road to drive. Maybe when I go back in January of 2026, I can swing by and visit with you, Invisible River. I would like to get to know you a little bit better, and maybe I could camp out on your property. I know you said that you're going to be doing like tiny house village out there, and that you already have I think you said you have a trailer park. Is that correct? I've got Jim. I don't know what you're talking about, William. Rocks. Well, he's invisible, so I might not run into him after all. You mean Jiminy on your phone? I don't know what that is. You're welcome here. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So I guess he's talking about Jiminy on his phone. I don't know what that is. Only but me, but yes, future RV park. Jiminy and the AI assistant. Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with Jiminy, the AI assistant. 12.63 acres. That's a pretty good piece of land. I'm due to inherit a little bit of land that is family property that's been in my family for hundreds of years. My dad passed away May of last year, and he had 40 acres of land. Most of it he inherited. I think he bought maybe 7 or 8 acres of it, but he passed it down to us when he passed away, and so my other brother, who has not been on here in a little while, Brad, is supposed to be the executor of the will, and we need to get that will probated so that we can divide the property up. But that's what we'll plan on doing. I should be getting 7.5 or 7.6 acres of land out there, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I've got some ideas. Mountain views. Yeah, that's one thing about Arizona. It's got such a variety of landscapes. It is really a wonderful state. You've got pine trees and forest, and you've got desert, and you've got a little bit of everything there in Arizona. I wouldn't mind living in Arizona at all. I think it's a great state. Arizona people, are you far from Tanque Verde Ranch? A lot different than West Side. Yeah. So, Alabama has a lot of different areas too. We've got sandy beaches in Gulf Shores in the Gulf of America, and we've got mountains up in the northern part of the state. We've got most of the we don't have any desert land though. It's all pretty green here. There's no deserts here. But Alabama is a pretty diverse state as well, but I think that Arizona is probably more diverse. I really like Arizona. I have fallen in love with the state of Arizona. A lot different than West Side. Let's see. Chuck says he's way north of there. Saguaro cactus, 40 feet tall. Yeah. I remember in my videos that I did in January, I did a video next to a big saguaro cactus. It was in my video. It wasn't 40 feet tall. It was probably about 20 feet tall, but it was a pretty big one. I'm from Mountain Valley. Okay, William. All right, so looks like I have been on here just about an hour now. And so I think I'm going to call it a night. It's been a pretty good night. I appreciate all you guys joining me tonight and participating in my live stream. Had a pretty good group in here tonight. I always appreciate Brent Mania and CG Anime Fan for coming in. And if you guys get a chance to talk to Rat Stash, tell him come see us. I'm going to talk to him. I'm probably going to give him a call this evening after I get off of here. I might even give him a call tonight. But I always appreciate you, Chuck and Invisible River Ranch, for being on here. And my number one fan, Marty, always on here. Good to see you on here every time. And Dash with Dallas Flippin'. Dash, you need to call me sometime. Badlands Bandit, you all are like family to me, and I appreciate you guys so much. You guys make it worth doing this. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any point in it. I like how you talk to each other during the live stream, and you're also getting to know each other well also. So I'm going to call it a night and tell you guys good night. Thank y'all for joining me. Love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.